Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe. Thank you all for being here. This is a fine and very rainy day for us, stormy day down here in the southeast. And yeah, we definitely love our rain. Let's put it that way. The humidity is pretty crazy here. So, anyways, I hope you were all doing really well today. Had some progress on some of the stuff that I've been dealing with at work, so it's been positive on that for me. Hopefully, you all have had a marvelous day as well so far, and that the afternoon for you is going to be a good one. So, it would be absolutely um, interesting if the day was very good for everybody. I really like that a lot. So, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place today. I have not had enough coffee at all. I'm out of coffee right now, and I did not get a lot of time to go get some because I literally jumped from meeting into seat, and let's see how the show goes today. Today is one of the things that I do with the show is I love doing it live. It is on the fly, very little time to prepare for it, but I absolutely love what we're talking about and the things that we go over. Part of the reason I do the shows live is so that I have a live chat running and I have a very wonderful conversation with all of you guys and gals. You guys have wonderful being part of the show here. The questions, the excitement, the interest in what we're talking about, and I love having you all in here. It's kind of like we're having a conversation at the same time, right? It's Friday, and I am all over the place. So we're gonna have a squirrely show today. How's that? It's gonna be a fun time. Let's put it that way. Uh, Oh, you guys are great. I'm looking at the chat here. By the way, if you're watching live, say hey in the chat. I'm gonna pull up different people on the screen here in just a moment here. I love having that conversation. But if you like the content that you see on these shows, if you're a regular, please go ahead and smash those likes. It helps other people who are looking for this type of content to find it. Also, if you are new and you get to the end of the show and you like the content, do me a favor and smash that like. It helps other people who are looking for this type of information to be able to find it. YouTube has those little wonderful algorithms, and they do a good job at bringing people into the type of information that we talk about here. Also, I do a show at 4:30 every day, and that is 4:30 Eastern time. It's called I call it the Patreon show. It's scrolling about on the screen right here. If you wouldn't mind joining that, well, I wouldn't mind joining it. It's up to you. But basically, that is where we really dig into the meat and potatoes and some of the subjects that I have to skirt around and tiptoe around out here on this channel. I call this one a public channel. That one's a private channel. It gives me a platform or a space to have an unfiltered conversation about current events, historical stuff that would typically get the videos removed. Current events meaning like the hunger disease and the cookies and things like that they've made to solve that problem, or well, they've created the problem anyways, but that's a different story for a Patreon discussion. Stuff that's happening in Russia, Ukraine, those are types of things that we really dig into on that show. And I gotta be honest with you, that type of information, my opinion on it, and then well, my opinion on it is what would really actually get the video pulled off. But anyways, that's why I do the Patreon show. I hate the fact that I have to have it behind a paywall. To be honest with you guys and gals, I really wish it wasn't that way. I wish our First Amendment wasn't under attack to where I actually get to talk about and say things. I wish I could just do it here, make these really fun, wonderful shows. But yeah, it helps the channel out too if you guys do join that. But those of you who are in there, it does mean a lot to me. It has touched me immensely to my core that you are all part of that. So thank you for that. Anyways, let's take a look at who do we have in the chat today. It looks like we have quite a bit of people here, so I absolutely love it that you're here. So we got Tom. What's going on, brother? It is good to see you today, brother. We got John. What's going on? It's good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Lithia, I love it. Good morning. How are you? It's good to see you. Kim, how are you doing? It's good morning. It's good to see you as well. Rick, what's up, brother? Appreciate you popping in, man. Appreciate you popping in. Blue skies for you. It's been was blue skies yesterday here, but the storm's rolling through. Or I think you all had them yesterday, day before, something like that. Yeah, fun times. Happy Friday, Bitcoin Bull. What's going on, man? I guess the rumor that I heard was not true that Papa Joe was going to start wearing shirts with patterned jalapenos on Friday. I love jalapenos. I eat them raw. I eat them on everything. Interesting rumor. Fun times. You guys are great. What's going on, Sai? Good morning. How are you, sir? It's good to see you. Great. Thanks for popping in. You and your amazing wife are fantastic. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Who else here? Daddy-o, what's up? Good to see you. How you doing? It's good to see you. Yes, squirrel. Very much so. Gloria, what's going on? How are you? Good morning. Carol F, how are you? Good morning. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you being here. Yeah. So if you're watching live, I don't know how many people are watching. It shows me numbers. They're totally random. So if you are, say hey. Right now, I think I have this one running on just YouTube and Twitter. Facebook decided to laugh at me while I was trying to put it out there. So maybe I screwed up something there. Who knows? Maybe I said something I shouldn't have. I have been in Facebook jail a lot. And my original Twitter account got deleted, and not by me. Oh, the joys of trying to tell the truth, right? So I think I figured out a system to gamify the system, and that's why I set the Patreon up, so that I could talk about that kind of stuff. And we have a Telegram channel that the Patreon members get access to. There is a public channel that I have, but there's a team of people, not just me, who post to that. I've posted that on various social media sites, the Twitters, the Facebooks, things like that. So if you go out, I will post that again here. If not today, here soon. I think it's probably due for another post on that. It would be amazing if you all join those, because what that does is it gives access to talk about things there all the time. Like the private chat for the Telegram, for the Patreon, we have there's a bunch of people in there starting to have lots of conversations in that. Those of you who are on the Patreon, by the way, go join that. That is what I'm trying to do, is create community there. So, anyways, all right. Let's take a look at what's going on today. Like I said, it's Friday. I'm going to be squirrely. It has been an interesting day so far, and we're going to talk. I think I have my stuff in the right order. I don't know what. We'll see. I didn't even get to take a look at the last article, so we're going to read that one together. Oh, maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll decide. That one's an interesting one. Maybe that'll be something we talk about on Patreon. We'll see. Anyways, as always, I like to jump in and take a look at the charts. I'm not a chartist, whatever. I don't do the reading and the telling you what direction things are going to go, but I like to look at the prices, how they're correlated and or tied to with what's taking place with the regular markets, because they are, I don't want to say they're correlated or tied together, but we are starting to see more institutional style of money coming into crypto, and those institutional styles trade just like they do on the regular stock market. So they are going to make the same types of purchases. They are going to sell the same types of things. They are going to try to take profits, etc., just like they do on the regular markets. So let's see. Oh, I'm going to yawn. Sorry. I definitely need that coffee. Holy cow. Feeling it for sure. All right, so Bitcoin looks like it's up a tiny bit today. It looks like it's trying to be slammed down right now, but who knows? We'll see. I realistically think that if Bitcoin continues its trajectory, realistically, folks, we're going to see I think this is just my opinion. This is not financial advice, tax advice, or legal advice at all. Okay, this show is for education, and I've tried to be entertaining, but it doesn't always work out. But my opinion is, and I'll say this from time to time here for my regulars, you guys, gals, y'all know this, but you're going to see crypto, and along with all the rest of these markets, come down, because the institutional, just like I said a second ago, the institutional people are in this. There will be a point, I don't know what it is, that crypto will stop falling. And the reason it'll stop falling is because people like you and me, we're not dropping it. We're not letting it go. I'm not giving them a lifeboat. I won't. That, to me, is time to accumulate more. It's on sale because people are stupid, selling it out. because they are weak hands. They're freaking out. They're going to go back into the dollar. Well, guess what? Your dollar is worthless now. I don't know if you've noticed this thing about that's been going around about all this inflation. Yeah, that stuff will hurt you. We're dealing with some serious inflation, aren't we? Yeah, stuff is significantly being a problem, right? It's about time for most people to have a cost of living increase. Most sectors give that every year just to account for the inflationary cost that is supposed to be at between 1 and 2%. Well, guess what? Guess what? February's numbers were 7.9%. Now, that's really starting to bother people. Like, it's really starting to bother people. It's personally, for me, really, really bothering me. I have friends and family who are dealing with this in very, very interesting ways that, I mean, holy crap. I can only imagine that all of you is the same thing. If you're not going through it yourself, you got friends and family who are. This is ridiculous. Inflation? You know why we're dealing with this inflation stuff? Sorry, I'm getting notifications all over the place. We're dealing with inflation because people got greedy. They fell asleep at the wheel and left the printer on. They've printed too much money. That's the problem. But no. Let's not. They're. It's Russia's fault. It's Russia's fault for doing this. It's Russia's fault that we don't have the gas. No, it's not. Our current resident has decided that he was going to go shut down the Keystone Pipeline, that he was going to stop drilling permits and all this crap. He was going to block all the energy production here in the U.S., and he effectively did that. We stopped. I think we still export, but not very much. I mean, realistically, how does that work? How does it work that you cut basically it's like they tried to commit suicide. Let's be honest. I mean, they're literally economic suicide is what they're doing. They're trying to bring this country down to where we have to rely on other countries. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but they want other countries to succeed and not us. You've got to love it. You've got to love it. I tell you what. It's maddening, you know? And yet, in the public education system, kids are taught that the government is there for them, that the government there is to save them, that they are there to provide for them, that they are there to protect them, that they are there for this stuff. They are not taught at all to think for themselves. They are not taught at all to do the things that they need to do for themselves, to do what's right for them and their families. That's not what they're taught. They're not taught about money. They're not taught about education. Has nothing to do with monetary history. By the way, let me pull that up. And if I push the right buttons, that'll work. Let's go over here to. Also, if you didn't know, some of you do know, some of you do not, especially the new folks. I do one-on-one consultations for blockchain-related consulting. If you want to, grab a booking slot and let's have a conversation. If you want to just talk to me, people do that sometimes. If you have a problem you need help with, or you have need direction on something, or in general around crypto related stuff, grab some time. Let's talk. Anyways, over here under resources, I have this required education, as I like to call it. Let's pull that up. Hopefully it doesn't start playing. This is the and y'all can't see that. I need to always remember to go look over here. This is called The Hidden Secrets of Money. Okay. Mike Maloney did a really, really good job explaining these things. At first, he's against crypto. He's a gold bug, silver bug. He has a company that he buys and sells gold, right? I think his company is goldsilver.com. Down here, they do a documentary just on Bitcoin. It is very interesting. And that's his longest one, too. He takes a long time in that one. It's interesting. Anyways, it's 10 parts. Absolutely fantastic. Something to very much so go watch. If you want to really educate yourself on what's really taking place or what really happens in the monetary history. That type of stuff's not taught in school at all. You need to really, really understand that. Let's see. My goodness. Oh, yep. Daddy-O, number 5. You're saying number 5 is the best? Number 5. Where does money come from? Thank you. Yeah, let's pull that up. Number 5, right here. Hopefully it doesn't start playing. No, it's going to start playing. Yes, number 5 is the best. I actually do agree with you on that one because a lot of people don't understand where the money comes from, how the money is generated, where it goes. That explains it very, very, very well. All caught up. Manny, you're great. Thanks for popping in, brother. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Hopefully I don't talk too fast on 2x speed. I actually haven't listened to myself at 2x speed. Anyways, yeah, that's on my website, astroblockchainconsulting.com. It is linked in the description of the channel. Just go grab that and go to the resources tab, and it will pull up that over there. I did ask permission to list that on my site. He was very okay with doing that. So, anyways, skyrocketing inflation is taking an and I guess that's an even bigger. It's supposed to be even bigger. Come on, CNBC. Proofread your stuff. Then again, I don't spell appropriately. Anyways, but whatever. Skyrocketing inflation is taking an even bigger bite out of your paycheck. The increased, it is thundering, so if you can hear that, I do apologize. I have absolutely no control over that. The increased cost of living is putting U.S. households under financial strain. No kidding. Although wages are rising, prices for consumers must pay more for their goods. So you got gas, food, clothing. All the things that we take the money that we work hard for are now being significantly increased because somebody printed too much money. Do you all know who printed too much money? Show of hands. Who knows? Federal Reserve. Those of you who are here new learning the stuff, I say it often. I highly, highly, highly recommend reading The Creature from Jekyll Island. It is a rather large book. It is a dense book. It is information that I think is vital for people to know and understand. At a meeting the other night with a gentleman, we're looking at a bunch of different stuff, and I brought that book up, and his mouth dropped to the floor. He's like, "Holy cow! I haven't met anyone else who's read that book." And this gentleman used to be a professor, and his stuff was around economic stuff, right? So he taught his class the history that they're supposed to know, and the next day ran through the real history of what's going on and what's really happening with the Federal Reserve. Shocked the entire class. And they're like, wait, what the heck? Yeah, it's one of those. Here's what you've been told your whole life. Now let me show you what the real truth is. And boom, that's what that book is like. If you haven't read it, please read it. Anyways, making more money is great, but it doesn't mean as much if you are having a harder time making ends meet. So this is what I was getting at. Everyone, for the most part, in America gets a cost of living increase. Well, most places are going to do that 2%, 3%, or less even, depending on your employer, increase. That is nothing. Inflation was 7.9% in February. Who knows what it's going to be in March? Gas prices around here kind of ticked down a tiny, tiny bit after the prices decreased, but then they went up halfway again the next day. It's just a joke, people. It is an absolute joke. Although wages are rising, the prices consumers must pay for the goods and services are rising faster, notching a new 40-year high. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, cool. Wages are up 5.1% over the past year. And inflation 7.9%. You're still underwater. It's like Oh, good grief! Over the past year, which is which is trailing the pace of inflation. No kidding. No kidding. There, and I guess the blue line's inflation. Yeah, consumer price index is the inflation, the average hourly wages. So you are automatically. This is also Tom. Precisely. This is not the real number. This is not the real number at all. Uh, it was loud, and you heard that? It landed outside the window. Yeah, it's like right here. Bitcoin bull. I thought the loud rumble was a cart full of cash to fill up your gas. Oh, yeah, no. We're almost to the point of wheelbarrow money, aren't we, people? If we didn't have credit cards and things like that, you would need a stack of money to go to these stores. You'd almost need a wheelbarrow to pull it all around. Anyone heard of the Weimar Republic? Just saying. Household grocery bills swelled by 8.6% in the last 12 months, largest jump since 1981. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, overall energy costs, including gasoline, are up the most since July of 1981. It's very difficult to fully evade inflation. Yeah, because they printed too much money and they're trying to blame it on everything else. When are people going to start holding them accountable? Like, how do we, the people, actually hold them accountable? The Federal Reserve is a private organization. It's a private bank. It is owned by private investors who get dividends, stock payouts, whatever you want to call them, based off of how the bank does. Not that raise of interest rates. Yeah, your tax dollars don't go to the treasury. They go to pay the interest on that debt, on that interest rate. Okay. That's where your tax dollars go. It's not what you think it is. Go over to the Patreon and watch the shows that I talk about that on. Dig into it. Definitely dig into it. And I need to bump this one up. Inflation is bad and about to get worse. Yes, it is. Because they never stopped printing the money. Now, this article kind of asks the question of are we going to end in a recession? Rising inflation is rising the prospect of a period of economic stagnation or even recession. We've been here before. We've been here recently before. It's going to get really rough if this happens. I hope it doesn't turn into a depression, to be honest with you. For 4 decades, the cost of consumer goods was a rare bright spot in the American economy. The stuff we fill our homes and lives with, phones, clothes, makeup, cars, snacks, toys, got better and cheaper, but no more. Prices were up 6.8% year over year in February, and nearly certain to spike even higher in the coming months. A new great inflation is squeezing family budgets, erasing the wage gains, and rising the prospects of a period of economic stagnation or even recession. Given the strong forces driving prices, costs are likely to get higher before they moderate. Yep. And those of you remember the former administration, they printed so much money with those relief packages and the stimulus. How do you kill a beast? It's a monetary beast. How would you kill a bank? How would you kill a monetary system? You'd start bleeding it dry. And how did you start bleeding a monetary system dry? You print as much money as fast as you possibly can. Overwhelm the system, and it will not be able to survive. I think that's what happened. And yes, it's going to wake people up. And then yes, it's going to hurt. And yes, it may actually, whatever you want to call it, be the former administration's fault. But if the replacement of this, if the replacement system is anything to do with any physical metals, physically backed commodities, goods, whatever, then fantastic. That's a little bit of a different discussion. I think personally, it will be Bitcoin, it will be cryptocurrency, it will be things that have mathematical and encrypted value. It'll be things like that. I actually wonder if Bitcoin will end up being a world reserve currency or the world reserve currency. You know, those of you who followed and paid attention to Cliff High over the years, he has talked many, many times about sovereign coins and how they would fail. He's also talked about many, many times that countries, nations, sovereign nations will end up settling debts between each other using Bitcoin. It's going to get very, very, very interesting. How does one keep from screaming when someone says, I'm not interested in crypto? I keep my money in something solid like the dollar. Last person that told me that, Bitcoin bull, I said, actually, it was kind of rude, I guess. I laughed. I said it was nice to meet you, and I walked away. Like, I am to the point now when someone says something like that, that it is like after trying to convince them, hey, this is better, right? That this is the best way to go. That this is this and that's not. They're so stuck on their media telling them what's what. They're so stuck on listening to all of their government, whatever you want to call it, telling them that they're going to get this, that, and the other, and they're going to protect them, and they're going to pay them, and they're going to feed them, and they're going to do all this stuff. And when they say that, though, it is one of those maddening moments that you literally sit there and go, oh my word. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. When you talk to those types of people, it's like trying to talk water out of a brick. Nope. It's just not worth your time and your effort. It really isn't. It's kind of a cool thing about doing these shows. If you're here, great. Subscribe. Grab the subscribe button. Smash those likes, especially towards the end of the video. You know, great. But if it's not for you, okay, cool. But you'll be back because the world is going in that direction. The current resident signed a stupid executive order talking about central bank digital currencies and how they want to track everything you do. Now, let me ask you something. Would you rather use something like Bitcoin where it's anonymous, where you get to decide what you're doing with it, where it's not really traceable, things like that? There's other currencies that are not traceable at all. Or would you rather use a central bank digital currency that has every mechanism at all possible to spy on everything you do? Because the application on your phone that they'll tell you have to use will spy on everything you do on your phone. Every transaction will be visible to them. They will probably be able to turn off the faucet that allows you to spend that money. Things like that. Do you really want that over something that you can decide what you do with it? It is going to be they're going to figure it out. They'll be back. You'll be back. I have had many people over the years who've literally walked away from me and thought I was crazy. I have had close friends literally walk away from me and think I was crazy. I was nuts. They've come back. They're all going, all right, so what's this Bitcoin stuff? And then they're like, well, it's so expensive. And I was like, yeah, when I was talking to you about it, it wasn't. But here's how you do this. It's one of those like, holy cow, they'll be back. Because that's where we are going. I have been saying this since I found out about blockchain technology, what I learned about it. This is what humanity needs to free itself, and humanity has figured that out. And those of us who have figured that out, well, guess what? We're building tomorrow. We're building the future. We're building that environment. It is absolutely wonderful to see this stuff. Anyways, I am officially late for a meeting, and that's fine by me because you guys and gals are amazing. And I love coming on here and having a conversation with you and talking to you guys. It is beautiful to see you all here. I have so many of you in the chat here. It's absolutely wonderful. I have a bunch of new faces. Absolutely great. Great to see everyone. Raze, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. I'm glad that you are here. It does mean a lot to have everyone here. So if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button if you like the content. If you like this show, smash those likes. It'll allow other people to find that. If you want to help the channel out, there are links in the description of the channel. There's Crypto Confidential, there's the Patreon show, things like that. Yeah, I'll have the show for the Patreon, by the way, 4:30 this afternoon, barring anything crazy happening. If that does, I will for sure let you all know. You all have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you all this afternoon. Bye-bye.